Welcome. My name is Jack Rome, and on behalf of the Center for Awakening, I'm glad to welcome you to Meet the Speaker. It's a live series with speakers from the upcoming 3-day online immersive conference, Awake in Stillness, The End of Dreaming, taking place from November 8th to 10th. This series is designed to give you a brief taste of the direct experience that you can expect from each session during the conference. Reverend Mark Anthony Lord is an ordained minister and versatile spiritual leader whose journey began in what he describes as the dark back alleys of life. At the age of 24, he landed in a 12-step treatment center where he spent 30 transformative days emerging with a newfound dedication to discovering a new God and embracing a non-negotiable commitment to forgiving everyone and everything. Mark Anthony's latest signature program, The Seven Gates to God, blends the guiding principles in A Course in Miracles with the wisdom of the Chakras, offering a practical and creative pathway home to the heaven within. Mark Anthony's conference session is titled, You Are the Kingdom of Heaven. His session will combine the profound principles of A Course in Miracles with the ancient wisdom of the chakras, guiding you on a journey to purify from illusions and awaken to your true self. Through immersive, experiential practices, you will transcend theoretical understanding and embody the truth that you are the kingdom of heaven, the divine reality that has always been within you. So, Mark Anthony, welcome once again. Thanks so much for joining us today. And with this brief time that we have today, could you give us a taste of your session by encapsulating some of this teaching and what you will do in giving us that experience that we are the kingdom of heaven?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Jack. You actually gave a nice overview by reading about that. So thank you for that. It's such a pleasure to be a part of this conference. Thank you for that. And to all who are listening, please do make this a priority because it will make a difference in your life for sure. I want to quickly go back to what Jack referenced when I was in a treatment center when I was 24 years old, and I was told I had to learn how to forgive or I would die. It was definitely a life or death situation. What I discovered in the years that followed is most everyone did not really know what true forgiveness is. I was blessed with a profound spiritual experience of forgiveness upon me, upon my mind and my being. That is a glorious story. No time to go into that. However, the place where I discovered where the truth of what forgiveness is in A Course in Miracles. I haven't found another teaching that out there may exist, but I haven't found one that makes it so clear, so practical, and so applicable. So that's really, I mean, Course in Miracles is my life. It feels like the spine of my spiritual world. So I'm really honored to be here and share with you about my journey. My program that I'm going to be, or my workshop that I'll be doing on Friday, November 8th is as was pointed out, you are the kingdom of heaven. It's actually one of my favorite lines in the textbook. It literally says in the textbook, you are the kingdom of heaven. And, you know, reading through the textbook many times, a couple times back, I feel like those words like rose off the page. They just became, this is the truth. And this is what is said in all great spiritual teachings. But the Course, again, as it always does for me, makes it closer than anything else. It's not closer than my breath. It's not at hand. It's not within me. It is me. It is you. So this just became living food and awareness for my soul. And it became the high idea, the high truth that I measured my life against. If I am the kingdom of heaven, then where am I here? Where am I here? Where am I here? It became such a call to rise up to say yes to this. Simultaneously, years ago, I had discovered the chakras, pretty profound portals for healing and transformation. And being a trauma survivor and surviving religious abuse, they became portals for me to really deepen in some wonderful affirmations of being. Well, over the past couple years, I've been guided to bring the Course in Miracles together with these chakras. And what occurs in the experience is when the chakras are activated with Course in Miracles truth, with the purification process that denies the ego's reality and confirms God's truth and life in you. When each chakra used for a different purpose becomes aligned, the kingdom of heaven becomes a felt, awakened experience in you. Now, I had a moment of going, who am I to take the course and bring it together with chakras? Like, do I have permission to do something like that? Well, I'm very blessed. I do have a very personal relationship with Jesus, a deeply personal relationship with Jesus that awakened in me at a trip to India. Another whole story I can't tell you now, but I have a very living, fully fulfilling dialogue with Jesus. So I went to Jesus, ran the idea by my beloved brother, and was like, what do you think about this idea? How does this resonate? And I felt the vibration of yes just streaming through me so clearly, which I was so grateful for. So that's what I'm going to be presenting to you. And if I may, I'll give you a quick example, Jack, because each chakra aligns with different teachings, building from the root to the crown, obviously. I want to go into the third one, the solar plexus. That's the yellow chakra just below the rib cage. What this one signifies and how I have downloaded and been taught to use this particular one is around God's will. God's will is your will. The Course says this, there is one will. When we're in the flow of God's will, life is easy, life is gentle, we are guided, we can hear the Holy Spirit. When we are afraid, when the ego has us, when we are lacking faith, we become controlling, we become willful, we imagine a separate will from God. So through this third portal, this chakra, we have the opportunity to free ourselves from the need to control, free ourselves from even attempting or wanting a separate will, and going deep into the truth and the power of how good God's will is in you. So through that one portal, we purify any separation of will. We anchor the truth that God's will is the only will, and it is good, and it is yours. When that chakra becomes anchored in that powerful truth, imagine how easy it is to walk in God's will. Or when you feel you're out of alignment or lacking some faith in God's will, when you're in a personal experience of life, you can tap into that chakra portal. You can tap in and you can put your hands over and say, God's will is my will, and it is only good. And so we're using energy. We're using the physical body. We're using the truth that is inside of A Course in Miracles to activate the kingdom of heaven, not in you, but as you. So that's what we're going to focus on in my workshop.
Wow. Wow. Beautiful. So you gave an example and it sounds like, just to extrapolate, there's alignment with God's will in the solar plexus, that chakra, but there are the six others, and I can imagine there's a teaching from the Course for each chakra. Is that right? That's where it will
Exactly.
head?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I just pulled one out, but yeah,
Sure.
each chakra
Sure.
builds root, builds on the second, builds on the third.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I could
Wow.
just a quick overview. The root chakra anchors us in our deep safety and security and belonging to God. So it begins the process of healing the primal lie, or the only lie, which is that we're separate. So we start with the root chakra to release us from that lie and purify and remember the truth of our being, that is all that we are, that we are safe in God. Then we move to the second chakra, which is the sexual power, the delicious passion, and that represents the place where our guilt and our shame resides. That's it, because guilt is a real powerful energy of the ego. So it is in that second chakra where we really do a deep release of the guilt and the shame. And then we activate that beautiful life force that is ours, much greater than this world of form, your inherent true passion and power. Then going up to the heart, since I went over the solar plexus, that's where we really move into the activation of forgiveness. With the first three chakras open and flowing, now you become available to use the power of love, the Christ heart, not the physical heart. The physical heart is misused and misunderstood and tried, and it's burdened with stress and pressure. But when we awaken the Christ heart that is in back of it, and we activate that, that Christ heart has the power to forgive and free you from absolutely everything, everything. Then once that is activated, you're really flowing. Now we move up to the throat chakra, which is for your creative expression, because the course is very clear. It says that from the ego we make, but from the spirit, from the I am self, from your divinity, you create. You are another famous loving or quote I love from the course. You are created to create the good, the beautiful, and the holy. Well, you've got to be in alignment to do that. And this is your creative power. And when that creative power, your word, is aligned with your divinity and in the holy instant, this is when you are available and able to actually create the good, the beautiful, and the holy. Then we move up to the sixth chakra, which is the awakening of your psychic abilities. I love that the course brings this into its conversation at different points. As you walk the path of A Course in Miracles, one of the gifts many of us receive is the ability to hear more clearly divine guidance, to sense and feel the presence of God and who we are and who others are. We are able to access other dimensions of your being because the psychic ability is opened and flowing. So we spend time tapping that and opening that. And then the crown chakra represents the God is. God is. I don't know if you know the story of when Helen Schuckman had a dream and she was in a cave or something. I may be mistelling it a little bit. Forgive me, anyone who's a real historian. But in the story, she's led to the scroll, and she's told if she opens the scroll to the left, she will be shown the past. If she opens the scroll to the right, she will be shown the future. But wisdom guided her to open it to the middle. And the only thing that it said is God is. This is the revelation in the seventh chakra, which activates the alignment and awakens you to the kingdom of heaven that you are. That was a fast overview, Jeff. but I don't know that's all of them, and we're going to go deep into each one of them.
Yeah, beautiful. You know, I'm sure I'm not alone in this, but I'm as a student of the course, but having come to it after having studied and practiced many Eastern traditions and then coming to it that way through sort of whether it's chakras or maybe it's more of a non-dual understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, it the course opens in a different way for someone that has come through that direction. And the what you described is such a beautiful, I almost want to say embodied heuristic
Yeah,
where we can point to the areas where we are going to feel. I mean, for those of us that are familiar at all with the chakras of how that works, but also as a heuristic for the development, because I think a lot of the times, the course is such a dense expansive book that it's so easy to go super deep into one thing and to sometimes lose sight of the overall arc that you could say of development, particularly because the course is meant to meet you where you're at. So I don't want to knock the course there. I mean, I'm a student of the course, but it is really beautiful to hear this combination of a heuristic and something that's truly embodied and real sort of mapped onto the teachings of the course so that it's, as you kind of said, it's like the chakras but infused with the truth that we learn in the course about forgiveness, about the holy instant, about that we are the kingdom of heaven. Really appreciate you putting those things together. So glad that you felt that yes vibration,
yeah.
and that we'll get to hear about it in much more deeply during the conference as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I appreciate you for noticing that. Yeah, for many people, they say the course is too intellectual, it's too masculine, it's too, that kind of like too hard to understand. And the embodiment of it, I think, is such a beautiful thing. And the course talks about, the body in the ego's hands is used for destruction and disease. The body, when given to the Holy Spirit, becomes an instrument. It becomes a vessel for healing and for the forgiveness and the revelation. So that's another way to think about it. We're using the body in the positive, Holy Spirit directed way to activate what we are.
Yeah, beautiful. That that's something that I'm sure it's not missing really in the course, but because you just like you said, it can come across as extremely intellectual, but it's almost like you have, by using the truth of the course, you've mapped out, and using the chakras, you've mapped out how to use your body for the atonement, how to use the body for true love, how to use the body for forgiveness. That's a very cool, just it's amazing what we can do nowadays with
It
these
is.
tools that have been
No.
developed over so many years, whether it came in time relatively recently or has been around for thousands and thousands of years. I mean, the truth is the same. The truth is eternal. But I love that idea that there's a map for something that I don't feel like I get a map for, which is use the body for the atonement. That's great. I would love to do that. So what does that look like? But what you just described is what it looks like, is what it feels like, is what it is when it's embodied. When we don't push the body away, we let it be and let it be used for God's plan, God's will, as you were just saying.
Mm, man, I really appreciate spending time with you, and I appreciate you getting it. You're actually helping me explain it even more. So thank you. Thank
Of
you. Yeah,
course.
I hope you guys will come. It's going to be a great interactive, experiential gathering.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, looking forward to it. And yeah, I hope to see you all there. Mark Anthony, thank you again so much for your time today. Yeah, so for anybody that is watching now, maybe watching later, we really hope that you'll join us at the Awaken Stillness Conference. It's from November 8th to 10th for more direct experience teaching just like this. And you can register for free at purepresenceconferences.com. Mark Anthony Lord, thank you so much again. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, thank